Here we go. Hey folks, tonight on the Jeff and Dan Show, Jeff, the famous one in piracy.
And the top 10 most important things in life.
The top 7 most pirated items in the world today.
We're going to play Pin the Pronoun on the Pirate.
And we're going to do Spot the Phony Pirate. All that tonight on the Jeff and Dan Show. Dan Show.
It's Wednesday. It be 7 o'clock. It's time for the Jeff and Dan Show. Captain's Log, September 19th, 2025. Me band of bloody pirates and I have been trawling the digital waters off Nigeria. And me looking a light and easy catch of booty, maybe scrounging some leftovers of a bloody sea-battered victim from a scuttle with the Nigerian Navy. Perhaps a small ship need be relieved of its small satchel of gold Bitcoin. On board the Jeff and Dan Show. No! We begin to track a small frigate that possibly had some books that maybe could be turned into e-books and easily converted into cold, hard cash.
Arr.
She was a slow one, almost boring, or maybe she had nothing in her forecastle. When all of a sudden, off on my starboard motherboard bow, the largest, slowest ungunned freighter I ever laid me eyes on these upper seas. Not a whale, mind you, you landlubber, but the largest treasure take in all of Buccaneer history. My. She had to be loaded with trillions of video games, gazillions of musical files from Tom Petty to Mario Cameo. Tons and tons of software. Filled with booty above and beyond ye's wildest dreams. A vessel filled with movies, TVs, videos, and e-books, matey. Then my second mate, on watching the crow's nest, mind you, hollers below. Captain, a large man of war approaches on the port side, wishes to board, claims friendly intentions. Permission granted or denied? No, instruct to stop approach. Turn towards the south and be headed forced upon them our cannonade of terror. They have weed? Permission granted. Come aboard. The large vessel for sea warfare began to get closer and closer. The skipper appeared and he began his ascent up Jacob's ladder. I couldn't make him out at first, but he climbed higher and his head and face appeared onto our deck. Why, ladies and gentlemen, it's Captain Jeff Blackbeard and his famed ship SS Marlboro Red Box. Ahoy and welcome aboard, sir.
Welcome aboard, sir, and how are you?
Oh, me's been fine today, me's pirate.
We've got some studying to do. Here we go.
Can we just go back?
You were saying?
Can we just go back up to the intro? And go back up here again, up to the intro. You see where the intro says, then my second mate on watching the crow's nest. You see that?
Then my second mate on watching the crow's nest. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. Yes, I see it.
Okay. Say that in a Captain Kirk tone.
In a Captain Kirk tone?
Yeah, say that line in a Captain Kirk tone.
Then my second mate on watching the crow's nest, mind you, hollers below.
And Scotty says,
Captain, a large man of war approaches from the port side, wishes to board, claims friendly intentions. Permission granted or denied? I don't think I can push her any harder, Captain.
Okay, that's all I wanted to do.
Scotty, I need for you to do this. Get the thing done and make it so that we can get stoned again. Captain, it's illogical. All right, so very good, sir, yes.
Greetings and welcome to the show, folks. We're glad to have you aboard here on the SS Jeff and Dan Show.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, definitely. So tonight, man, our popular topic of the week is going to be piracy, which doesn't get a lot of attention anymore like it used to. As a matter of fact, it used to be weekly. You saw something in the publications, the tabloids, whatever, about people getting snapped up and getting caught in lawsuits and stuff like that. But you don't see that anymore, and it doesn't even have anything to do with like the current political situation. It has everything to do with, I think it's just gotten off the conscience of pretty much everybody. But the news still does exist, and people still do get in trouble, and things are happening. So tonight is going to be a fun adventure in learning exactly what we mean by piracy. So shall we get started on that?
Let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll. So a lot of this is me just sort of explaining stuff. If you have a need to stop and say, hey, man, what's this mean? Because it's going to go by quick. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of information out there. And all of this stuff is stuff I've learned throughout the years. First of all, I want everybody to know my name is Jeff. And I am a pirate. Or at least I used to be. No, I'm still a pirate.
Slim Shady.
Who am I kidding? I just got an audiobook today. Come on. My online persona back in the early aughts was the famous one. And I had made quite a name for myself out there in the piracy world and in the role of security and stuff and keeping people straight. Before the Pirate Bay, before Demonoid, before Super Bay, before Supernova, before Torrents, Extra Torrents, VK, before Torrents themselves, before even decentralized peer-to-peer networks and even before the Donkey Network, there was something called Kazaa. Do you remember Kazaa?
I remember the name. I remember somebody asking me about that.
Yes, and
but can you just tell us what Pirate Bay and Supernova and Torrents is?
All of those websites. Well, I will explain those, but they're all websites, and basically what they are is ways for you to be able to find the stuff that you want to download. So it's basically like using Google, and then getting the information that you need, and those websites saying, "Oh, here's where you can get it." But I'll explain it better in detail in a little bit here.
Okay.
But there was Kazaa, and Kazaa was at one point the largest peer-to-peer network. As a matter of fact, after Napster started going under, not the legit service, but the illegal one, Kazaa was created. And Kazaa was based upon decentralized networks, but not the central network, the one that you would get your information from. So if you saw a file, you would get the hashtag for that file, and it would tell you who all has that file, and you could download it from them. Anyway, peer-to-peer has been expanding, and at that point in time when Kazaa was huge, I was actually helped to run. I was the admin for the biggest verified movie website, which was called Fast Track Movies, which some people actually still remember if they're of age and they remember what it was like to be downloading that point in time. They know what that is. And in 2002, I was the admin for that, and basically, everybody came there. We had 3 million visitors a month. So it was pretty intense on how much stuff we'd actually get through. And the other really cool thing was we had a forum going there at the same time. Now, let me explain what Fast Track Movies is and the technology behind this just as quickly and easily as I can. Imagine that you were going to go and download something on Kazaa. Okay, now one of the biggest problems with Kazaa was that you would go to download something and you would end up getting a virus or some type of corrupt file, basically. And that was harmful. Nobody wanted to do that. So what happened was somebody came up with a brilliant idea. A friend of mine named A. Sweeney, he's the guy that actually owned Fast Track Movies, came up with the idea of, hey, let's create a verified service. So basically what it does is it's staffed by volunteers who go and download individual files to see, is this a legit file? So basically we put our necks on the line, possibly downloading viruses, rootkits, and all that stuff, just to be able to let you know, yes, this is legit, and yes, this is the quality of this file. And we did that for a little over a year. And at that point in time, we had a small team of internet and coding experts, and we created a huge community. We would provide the links to verify and review the movies you could download over your DSL, because at the time, Cable was really not existent. Dial-up was really hard to get any kind of movies. I could say, let me just put it this way. If I wanted to download a movie back then, I would be getting it done with the download now if I would have been on dial-up. So, yeah, it's kind of hardcore. Yeah, 20 years on and almost 20 years on. Yeah, it was slow. And people don't even realize it. And they're just like, So, but yeah, we created that technology that sort of put the verification process in order. And that actually went on to become places like the Pirate Bay, Demonoid, and Extra Torrents. Because we devised a way for all of us to review a movie and decide on its quality. But more than that, our trust extended to, will this be a movie or a virus? That was the main thing for it. When FTM, which is what we called it FTM, Fast Track Movies, they closed their doors a few years later. We moved to a new place, a dedicated. It's the same system of verification, so on and so forth, but it's also much cleaner. No profanity, no crazy nudity, no porn, etc. FTM didn't have porn, but just to say, other places do, like Pirate Bay and such. So if you need your porn, that's where you get it. But no, basically, we just tried to keep it very straight, and we moved to a different network since Kazaa was sort of being played out. Phased out. We went to the new eDonkey, eMule network, which was the first type of decentralized service. So basically, nobody ever had the file specifically on a server. It was all the downloaders that had the files, and that's what that means. That's what decentralized means.
So basically, what you're doing is sending them, okay, this file is legit, and it belongs to this peer over here, not here.
Yes.
We're just telling you it's real. Right,
exactly. And I'll explain how that works here in a minute. I just want an understanding, what is piracy? What does everybody consider piracy? The basic understanding of piracy is that you download something that is rightfully not yours. So you end up getting something like a file, a movie, an audio clip, or it could be just a video clip, porno, ebook, software, video games. I mean, anything that could technically be pirated is something that always falls under what we call intellectual rights or intellectual properties, and never extends itself to actual physical things, because you can't download a brand new car, because believe me, I would do it if I could. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, you can't do that. So that's kind of what piracy is. The basic understanding is just it's the ability to go out and download these things, and it's kind of against the law.
What about 3D printers?
3D printers, no, still can't do that. But you can download 3D items. So in other words, if I have a 3D printer, I could go out there and find somebody who created a chain link, and I want to make a chain link out of plastic. I can do that on a 3D printer. But basically what will have to happen is somebody will have to have that out there, and I'll have to download that from them. And it's basically just a 3D file that says, here's what it looks like. And then the printer knows what to print and create it. So yeah, technically 3D printing is. That falls under the software. And sometimes you could end up stealing that. There are places out there right now who do create intellectual property that is basically theirs to build certain things with any kind of 3D printer. You can do it with plastic, you can do it with steel, aluminum, any of the ones that they can build with that. The other thing about piracy, just real quick, is it's not as basic as what I'm saying. Okay, I'm saying, it's illegal to do this stuff, but technically, yes and no. There's some arguments with it, and that's what we'll discuss here in a minute. The problems with defining piracy and downloading, it's if you want to take a look at exactly what it is. Piracy is when you take an item and then create or use that item to create other stuff, like tangible things. A great example for piracy would be if I stole Windows and I put them onto CDs and I sold them to other people. See, the term piracy means that I'm making money off of this, whereas downloading does not. Downloading is you just went out and downloaded the thing, not for any type of typical gain, not for any purpose other than just to watch or listen or play or, you know what I mean, or read, or whack off too, yeah. So that's it. It's not possible to have tangible items sent to you. So unless you do something more like try to sell them, then you become a pirate, which is huge in Asia. It's a very big thing in Asia because a lot of people over there don't have money, which is a great argument why downloading should exist. Because downloading is getting things out to people who may not otherwise have access to it. Dude, you and I grew up in countryside places where, in rural areas where it's like, oh yeah, here it is 1985 and now they're just getting Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we know what that's like. Being the case that we know what that's like, wouldn't it have been great if we could have seen it in 1977 when it came out? I think it would have been, If there was some way for me to give back to that, there's a good possibility I might. Maybe I'll buy the DVD. I don't know. It really depends. But anyway, the categories, limited categories of items that can be pirated, as mentioned, is movies, music, software, ebooks, and audiobooks. Everything fits underneath usually one of those four things. Here's the thing. When the MPAA and the RIAA, the Motion Picture Association of America and the Recording Industry Association of America, got bammed with this stuff, they had losses that were intangible and very difficult to quantify. How do you go about saying in 2005 the MPAA said they lost $3 billion because of piracy? How exactly do you quantify that?
You can't.
Right, exactly. You can't really go out and say, oh, yeah, these people stole this, which means I'm not going to make money from it. No.
Yeah, you can't say that. You can estimate or maybe even, but still you can't predict the future.
Right. You can't predict what people were going to do. They still can't do it today. Dude, you should have seen it this past weekend. They were like, all these movies are going to make, $12 million in 25, and every single one of them went over the estimates. Every single one of them. They all made tons more money than what they said that they thought it was going to make. Because they don't know. There's no mathematical calculation or formulation that you can use to figure out exactly how much money you're going to use. It's a guessing game. And to say you're losing $3 billion is just outrageous, especially when you only made $7 billion that year. Right. Yeah, see, only. So that's the reason why it's not possible that we can learn that, we can figure that out. How would you even, go about considering that, they lost $3 billion? I have no idea. I would love to see the math behind it. As a matter of fact, I think some people petitioned to see this math behind it at that point in time. But nobody ever came back and said, oh, this is what we're talking about. There's things you have to take into consideration. Imagine this. You have a movie, okay? I got The Last Jedi, okay? I got it on Blu-ray, okay? It's already out of the movie theaters on Blu-ray. Now, they're still considering merchandising as part of the amount of money that a movie brings in. So if you've got Blu-ray, is part of that money that comes in. DVD is another one. Digital download is another one. So how do they quantify the groups that are watching this movie? So one person buys The Last Jedi and 10 people watch it over a period of 2 weeks. How do they get their money from? I mean, how do they get their ideas from that? How do they figure it out? Or better yet, how many times have you, especially with the internet, how many times have you said, oh man, I want to go see that movie. And then somewhere on social media or somebody came up to you and told you what killed the movie for you. You know what I mean? Like totally just came in and just ruined it. And you were just like, fuck it, I don't want to see it now. You know what I mean? Think about it. That's lost money that they had because of spoilers. Somebody did a spoiler and fucked it up for everybody. You know what I mean? Like Han Solo dying in The Force Awakens. That was a huge one. And people fucking just let it go right out on social media. And it was like, if I hadn't seen it 4 times in the first week, I would have been pretty pissed off. And there were a lot of people that were pissed off.
I don't think there's anything you could do about that.
Yeah, there isn't.
I remember when I was seriously hardcore into NASCAR and I had to work on Sunday, so I would tape the race.
Right.
And somebody come in and say, oh, did you see that race? No, I was working, I taped it. Oh, so-and-so won in the last lap.
Yeah.
Did you fucking hear me?
Right. Thanks a lot for fucking that up for me, right? Exactly. Then there's also the considerations when it comes to the morals of downloading in their losses, let's say the MPAA's losses. How much junk did we pay for throughout the years?
crap movies,
Right.
crap songs.
Exactly. There's crap everything. Crap software. Crap. Microsoft owes me $4 million for the bullshit they had put me through for the past 20 years. You know what I mean? They just too much shit, and basically not enough to stand up and go, oh, yeah, we was screwed up. It was screwed up. It's lame. It is really, really lame. But that's the thing. How do you get that? How do you create a number from that and say this is how much they owe me? Or this is how much I owe them, because I stole their software.
A good lawyer will do it.
Yeah, exactly. A better way to distribute was needed. And what that means, for the most part, is the movie and music business were broken. We knew they were. Somebody saw that. Sean Fanning saw that in Napster. Created Napster so that people could share music. Now, here's the thing. Here's the wildly mind-blowing part about this. Okay, this part just blows my fucking mind. They sued Sean Fanning and Napster to get him to stop giving away music that I could listen to for free on the fucking radio. Why is it that happens? Why? If you give it away on the radio, you can hear it open air, anywhere. Turn your knob, turn it on. You may not hear it right away, but it's eventually going to play. That being the case, how are they losing fucking money? If I can listen... Dude, how many times did you record something on a tape deck? When you heard it playing, you were like, oh, dude, I got to get this. And record that shit. And then have it for, whatever. Go out in your car or go out with your friends or take a walk with a Walkman. Whatever. And listen to that shit. You didn't pay a dime for it.
No. And I'm not really defending them, but I will say this. When we did those mixtapes thing,
yeah,
it always was like this. The song started coming on, the drums started coming.
Yeah.
It's 8:04 in the morning, and coming up next after this song here by LL Cool J, we're going to get, it's going
right.
So you had to listen to that caption of people talking.
Right, exactly. And that is something that we had to deal with. And we dealt with it because we wanted the song. May not have had the money to go out and buy the song. May not have had, the time or the patience or the effort to go and do it. So we had the song and we were willing to deal with that. The same thing goes with downloading. Now, not music, but with movies. The same thing goes with them because movies that are downloaded come in different qualities. Number one is a cam, which is the shittiest possible thing you can get. It's somebody went in with somebody went in with a shitty old camcorder, a VHS camcorder or something, I don't even know. And they started filming the movie. It looks fucking horrible. It's terrible. The audio sucks. The video sucks. Everything sucks about it. But if you're just going to watch the movie for the stuff, just for the knowing what happens and things, you don't give a shit about the pristine little fucking pixels, you know what I mean? Or the fact that it's 7.5 thousand fucking stereo. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? Those people are willing to do exactly what we did with our tapes. We were willing to let that DJ smatter the beginning of a fucking song all over the wall. But with the movies now, the kids nowadays, they see those cams and they're just like, oh, I don't want that. And I'm like, dude, I would watch that if I knew this movie was going to kind of suck, And that's exactly what I've done throughout the years. What were you going to say?
I forget.
Oh, sorry. Anyway.
It's there's just a little bit of difference in the fact now that it's way much more easily accessible than it was back then when we were growing up. We had what? We had the song that was on the radio. If we didn't like that,
right,
we could have switched to a different station.
Yep.
If there was one available that you liked.
Right.
Or you could have went out and bought the record. Right.
Or buy it on tape and throw it in your car and listen to it there. The thing was, and a lot of people didn't get this, we had patience. We had patience for stuff like that. We weren't instantly like, oh man, it's not on this fucking station. I can't listen to it.
Man, I gotta get that Dire Straits album.
Right.
Man.
That was the point of listening to the radio, was to be able to hear that song, but listen to all the other songs around it. And you know damn well the certain poppy stations and stuff used to play your song that you wanted to hear once every 5 hours, but this one fucking song, it got played every hour on the fucking nose, every single hour, and you heard it, and you were just like, they're shoving it down my throat. You know what I mean? But it was something you dealt with because it was just what it was. We weren't Generation Me and Generation Right Now. We'll just take what we get and be happy with that. Because our parents taught us that, and we never taught our kids that, so we didn't have to. So, being from both sides of the coin, I can see how it is with piracy and without piracy. As being a movie producer and a director and an actor, I've seen what it takes to create this stuff. And it's not simple. It is not simple. And I will show you right now who gets hurt and who does not get hurt in making movies and making music. The working man behind the scenes gets hurt by every time by piracy. The working stiff, the ones that are, electric, lights, those guys, they're getting hurt because you know what? Every time some movie comes up and they're like, well, we have to pay our main, actors $20 million. We got to sort of cut these guys in. We can't give them anything extra, but we can't give them any less because they're union. But we can't give them any extra, so we're just going to pay them rate. And a lot of people just take it because they need a job. So it does hurt them. The artist from a record never loses, ever. Okay? They never lose because they never got. And I will explain this. I will explain this in a minute.
Nobody understands that either.
Right, and I'm gonna talk this one out. The actor in the movie doesn't lose. They never lose.
They're paid up front.
Right. Well, not necessarily up front, but they're paid a specific amount.
And they're guaranteed.
Correct. And I'm talking about the big actors. The background actors, I consider them the working stiff. Supporting actors.
$300 a day.
Right, exactly. They got their $268 and they're out the door. So the director never suffers. He never loses. She never loses. They never lose because they're contracted right up front. They know what they got. The producer never loses. The studios never lose. So who gets fucked here in the long run by piracy? The little guy. And that's what they're trying to put up in your face now. Whenever you see it, everybody suffers. No, people don't fucking suffer. Because if I see another movie with Matt Damon come on the fucking thing, I know that guy's making $25 million a movie.
Yeah, let him feed those.
Exactly. If it's that fucking important that this piece of shit movie that you're about to make gets made, pay that fuck $5 million less and pay the fucking people over there more. You know what I mean? That's what they need to start doing. And that's the thing. That's what I mean by they never lose. Now, I'm not trying to rectify. I'm not trying to say that this is the reason why you should pirate. Not at all. Not at all. What I am suggesting here is that there is some corruption in all of this. Okay? And we don't get a chance to often see what kind of corruption there is. So I will continue on and explain this. A better business model was needed both for movies and music because the music industry was busted, and I will explain that right now. The music industry was divided into two specific groups: the music company fat cats who raked in the profits, and the artists who signed their lives away to make it. That's what they give them, those little positive things. Oh, we're going to let you make it. You're going to make it, man. You're going to be there. The company would find a band. They would go out and exploit them for their talent, which didn't take much to determine talent. You can craft talent if you really, really think about it. We crafted freaking Justin Bieber. Look how that turned out. Bands sign and musicians sign insane record deals, and a term used to make it seem like it was a win for the band or an artist by saying, oh, we've got a deal for you. This is your deal. I got a record deal. You hear that shit all the time because it's a positive. And in actuality, they're just like, fuck you, right up your ass. So
it's perfume on a pig.
Exactly. So they force the artist to produce albums under contract because that's what it is. And they have to do it under contract. Otherwise, bands will just get smart and realize they don't have to be there anymore, which I'll explain that in a second too. They use their fame until they're washed up or no longer viable. They take them, they bash them against the rocks of the ocean for so long until they finally pull up pulp and it's done. They finish fucking getting their shit. This is the way the record industry was. Nobody is willing to admit this. I've seen it firsthand. I know exactly what's going on. What's that?
And then along comes another record company that thinks maybe they could squeeze just a little bit more juice out of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And signs them to a 3-record deal.
Right. Or they have an exclusivity clause in the original contract. And what happens is Polygram Records decides to sell you off to Def Jam Records. They sell your contract. So they're making their money. They don't give a fuck. And now you're selling them off to some other person over here. Now I'm talking about after the record has been made. After the band had their contract for 3 records done. And they're finished. They've done their 3 records. They still have that exclusivity clause inside the contract that said, hey, you're still with us. This is your label. But we're going to pass you off to these guys because these guys can make a little more money by squeezing blood out of a stone. So, yeah, basically. Then when the artist or band would claim that they couldn't continue, the company would remind them that they're under contract. Dude, that has happened so fucking much. A band gets signed on for a 3-record deal. They do the first 2 over a period of 6 years. They have a year to do 1 more. And they have no talent left. They have they all been fighting on fucking tour, and they can't stand one another. So you can't have your drummer, your lead singer, or your guitarist in the same spot at the same time.
Can't work on making harmony when you're not harmonizing.
Exactly. And that's the biggest problem, is that the record company comes back to them and says, you fuckers owe us another album. Well, and there has been a lot of artists that have gone back and done some shit.
Done some shit albums.
Yeah.
But you know what? If that was one of these cases, I would go buy an artist with doing nothing but screaming on there.
Yeah. I mean, just for shits and giggles. But the only problem then is you're putting that money into the music industry's pocket.
Yeah.
So let's see what the pressures of performing are like, or being a monkey, as we say. Including the recording studio time, most musicians didn't need to worry about paying for their music. The company would cover that. But much like health insurance rates, company fat cats had cut discounted deals with studios to get a much better rate, sometimes as much as half off their price. And the studios could say nothing. When I say studios, I mean the actual recording studios. Do you know what it would be like to have a Justin Bieber or a Mariah Carey record in your studio? Think about that. You brought a name like that in. All of a sudden, that name recognition makes you bigger and better. And you can charge higher at that point. And that's what they bank on. That's what the studios bank on. The actual fat cat recording companies. They bank on that. They bank that those studios are going to say, oh, man, I don't know if I can do it for half. Oh, but wait, it's this person. Oh, okay, cool. We'll do this for half price, and then we'll charge all these other nitwits that are coming in here double what we initially were charging at any given point in time, which really, really just fucks everything up down the line. Because if you're an independent artist, guess what? Now you're fucked because you've got to pay all that extra cash just to be able to record in that recording studio. That's where this problem became a thing. This is the fat cat's way of being able to figure out how to eliminate independent artists until the internet came around. Musicians would only receive a small cut of the money being received from recordings, discs, and MP3 sales. The company, usually that's only 5 cents per unit. So in other words, if you sold a disc, a CD, and it went for $20, you got 5 cents from it as a musician. That was your royalties.
Do you have to split that with the band?
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, you think about it. I mean, over time, you could definitely rack up $5, maybe $10, easily. And the only true way for musicians to make money was to perform live. And even then, that was plagued with management costs, equipment rental costs, employee costs like roadies, and venue charges. If you went out and went to a venue, they're going to charge you to play there. You think it's like, oh my God, Metallica's coming here. And Metallica's like, yeah, we're coming there. And we're paying a venue fucking charge because we've got to do that in order to even play there. So the average take-home pay would be much less than you'd think, sometimes not even enough to fly them home. That's actually truthful, depending on who they were. I've heard horror stories upon horror stories. Only supergroups like U2, Prince, Michael Jackson, Justin Bieber, Shania Twain, and Madonna would be able to come out on top because they would be able to fill a stadium, completely pack a stadium, and take all of that money and pay off the people that they had to pay off. Or if you're in a case like Madonna, who's a really, really good business person, she just basically negotiated her contracts with all the venue people. So anybody that came along with her, roadies, the rentals for all the stuff that she would need, like the speakers and PA system and stuff, she negotiated that from the beginning. She said, hey, this is what I'm going to pay you, and that's what you're going to take. And they said, okay, you're Madonna, we'll do that. Because, again, it's the exact same fucking thing. If you have a PA system that's huge, enormous, the wall of sound, and you just did Madonna, who hasn't? Then you could go out and say to other bands, hey, look, Grateful Dead, man, check it out. We just fucking worked with Madonna and did her. Mm-hmm. And now we can do you guys. And Jerry Garcia was like, no, that's okay, man. Thanks anyway. So, no, but seriously, that basically what was happening. And usually, I want to read this part. They would come out on top, usually because they finished the cycle of all of their albums that were required on their initial contract and moved into producing themselves, keeping their money close to them. Exactly what I was saying about Madonna. Madonna is that one person that she created her own record label, Maverick Records. She hired on all these people. There's a ton of people she has that's underneath that she contracted with, and just famous bands. And she's good at picking talent, which is another thing too. But at the same time, you also have to look at the way Justin Bieber became big. That's kind of how she did it too. She forced it to become a thing. No one was ever able to fully expose the record industry until now. Nobody has ever walked out and said this stuff except for Chuck D, the lead singer, rapper, I guess, of Public Enemy. He had the biggest say when it came to this. He tried to let people know exactly what their recording artists were, or what they were going through. The RIAA, the Recording Industry Association of America, was in the game to save their constituents, the music companies, not artists, as they will tell you. The RIAA will say to you, oh, we're here to protect the artists. We're here to protect the artists. No, you're there to protect the music companies. The artists, fuck them. Why? Because the artists don't own the rights to their music.
Artists ain't got no money.
Right. The music companies own their shit. They own all of their stuff. It was evident because of lawsuits provided to everyday people on behalf of the music companies. That's how we figured this out. When the artists asked their songs not be included with the RIAA's crackdown, basically artists came back and said, listen, we really don't want to fuck over our fans because they're our fans, so stop fucking suing them. The RIAA said no. And they were ignored, mostly because the record companies own the rights to the music, not the artist. And that's totally what it is. Lawsuits and the isolation of musicians and their fans, it was just the RIAA felt responsible for protecting the money sources, because that's what it's always about, money. The music companies, that's their money. So in an act of desperation, they began wildly filing lawsuits against people who made these companies happen. The fans, the people who were responsible for making music what it is. Okay, so let's jump to this last part here. Yeah, that's the last part. And this is where I will sort of try to explain why downloading sites are not committing piracy, besides the tangible thing. But I'll say that, we'll use piracy in the leanest of terms here, and say the reason why they're not committing illegalities, I guess you would say, and what you need to know. Pirate sites. All those ones I named before, the Pirate Bay, Supernova, ExtraTorrent, VK, all
Demonoid.
of those. Demonoid.
LimeWire.
Yes, LimeWire, yeah. They had websites. All of them are what are considered pirate sites. They're the ones that you go to when you want to download something. And I'd like to get this right away stuck in everybody's head. It's not piracy, it's downloading. It's like you going to Google, typing in how to find a map to your local bank and have the ability to download a PDF on how to get there. That's basically all it is. It's the same theory, same process. Sites, those sites that I mentioned, and other sites and ones that I worked with, do not keep files on their sites. They don't take and put movies or music or anything on the sites. They don't have anything there. I can't get that through people's heads enough. There's nothing on their site. There's nothing on their server, not even on their business machines running the host company. They do not have the files. Peer-to-peer works by something called decentralized service, which means that the files you seek are located on various machines throughout the world or even on your computer at home. The only way you can host files or chunks of files is by having downloaded the item in question. So in other words, let's say, here, I'll give you an example. Can someone have chunks on their computer without having downloaded the whole file? In other words, we were just talking about chunks. Chunks are, you're building up, you want to get a movie. Every movie's broken down into individual chunks, like there's little chunks of information. That's how peer-to-peer works. That's why it's so good, because it has a redundancy check. It checks to make sure you have all the chunks you need. If it doesn't, it goes out and finds them on various people's machines, pulls them to you, and then you construct that file right there. But can you get in trouble basically by having those chunks? Can you have those chunks on your computer if you haven't downloaded the whole thing? Yes, and people need to understand that. Since you're downloading chunks of a file, you must store those chunks, and while those chunks are stored, the decentralized server is told that you have those chunks and sends other downloaders to you, where you upload the chunks to their downloaders, or to other downloaders. So basically it's like this. If you're receiving a file, you're a downloader. If you're pushing that file out, you're an uploader. Okay? So you do both, and I'll tell you why here in a sec. You do both of those, but they're not just the whole file all at once. They're just little chunks of the file. Okay? So you could technically get, as a downloader, chunks from Asia, chunks from Europe, chunks from Canada, from Mexico, from the South Americas, could be anything. And you can get those little chunks from any place, anywhere. Now, here's how they figured out how to get you if you have even just remotely a couple of chunks on your computer. They help you download it. Seriously,
Isn't
they
that
do.
entrapment?
Yes. Yeah, but entrapment is so far-fetched lately, dude. It's like, I don't even know that the term even exists anymore.
Yeah.
Right, because, it's so difficult to prove entrapment, and even if you do, it's not something that, that most judges are going to be like, oh, well, you didn't know any better, I'm sorry, you were entrapped, you know what I mean? So, you get fucked either way. But the fact of it is, here you have all these chunks over in these different places, and you're downloading, picking each one. Well, it just so happens you're picking some from over here in California. And that California server the company that you're picking it from, or their computer, happens to be somebody that works for the MPAA. And they capture your IP address, because that's how everything functions, is via IP address. And then they realize, oh, this is a Comcast or a Verizon or a DirecTV or whatever IP address. And they contact that provider and let them know that you've been downloading these certain files. And what happens with that is then you get served a cease and desist. Basically a letter that says, stop fucking downloading this shit. And they literally send you every single... The first time I got popped, it was 7 pages long. It was the max that they could send me. 7 pages. All 6 of the last pages never got out of the letter A. Yeah. So, I was sharing, and I was sharing a lot. But then I learned about things, and I learned that there's ways to be able to save your ass. And in order to do that, what you do is you deal with companies, great communities of people who go through and they create these things called IP filter lists. And what they do is they basically get these IP addresses from these places, these assholes over there in California that are trying to trip you up, people over in England who are trying to trip you up. They block all of those IP addresses. So you can't go pick up stuff from them. And every time it gets updated, which is pretty frequently, it puts new IP addresses on there. So they know law enforcement. They know who the hell's checking all this stuff. So now you're out there daintily picking all this stuff without getting into any trouble. And I can promise you it does work. And I used to work with one of the security groups that did stuff. And I actually created a few things for them, as a matter of fact. But I won't go into that. But peer-to-peer works on something called decentralized service. And that's what we have been discussing. They're on various machines throughout the world. and even on your computer at home. Sometimes you have redundancies. You might have a file, chunks of some specific file just left over on your machine. If they can determine what that is, then they'll upload that so people can grab a hold of it. So anyway, I want to give you an example. Let me read this one. Can someone have chunks on their computer without having downloaded the whole file? Yes. Since you're downloading chunks of a file, you must store those chunks. And while those chunks are stored, the decentralized server is told that you have chunks and sends other downloaders to you, or you upload the chunks to other downloaders.
You have put the plans in these droids.
That's right. Yes, I have. So here's a great example. I'm going to give you a good example of what I'm talking about. Hopefully this helps out. You would like some of Susie's cornbread. And by cornbread, I mean pussy. No, I'm just kidding. You would like some of Susie's cornbread.
Cream cornbread.
Ooh, creamy. So you send your child out to get you. I'm glad I changed that up again. You send your child out to get you some of that cornbread. That's considered a request. Okay, so your kid's going out is a request. Susie visits the local bake. Oops, shit, I put Susie. Yeah. Susie visits the local bake shop, the centralized server. Or your kid returns with all of the cornbread you could want, everything that you could want. When they return, that's the whole file. You have all of the file, all of the cornbread. As you are eating the cornbread, you see that others in your neighborhood would also like a piece of cornbread. Those folks are downloaders. Definitely cornbread. So they send a message to you to ask for some cornbread, which is a peer request. You now have the opportunity to say yes as a sharer or no as a leecher. You can be a sharer or a leecher. That is not what the S is at places like the Pirate Bay or Demonoid. The S stands for seeder or seeding, which means you are holding this specific file. It's difficult to explain. That one really goes into it. But anyway, so you can say yes or no to those requests. If you say no, you may be labeled as a leecher, meaning you get a file and keep it to yourself without sharing, which harms the community. And that puts a big red X kind of next to your name. So you share the cornbread. By sharing, you contribute to the community and to peer-to-peer. So basically, that's the general explanation of how that shit works. Did it help clear up your mind any?
Oh yeah, I understand.
You are completely unstoned. I have cleared up your mind, and now you are no longer stunned. Okay. Now, just a couple more things. Downloading works like an information station where you can get it like a map. You go in, you get that map. You can head where you need to go, where you came from.
2 nights make
to
a
get
right.
what you came from. Right. In essence, websites for torrents. In other words, the websites like Pirate Bay, Demonoid, ExtraTorrent, anything that has any of these things. Those little files, those little what they call magnet links, you'll see a thing that looks like a little magnet. You click on that. What you're actually doing is you're downloading a very, very small file. Now, while it's sitting on a server, usually it's not a file. Okay? All it is just written words. Okay? And then what they're doing is they're taking those written words and creating a file from it. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So basically they're saying, oh, here's all the letters, blah, blah, blah. Let's take that off of there and make it into a file. And the file is basically just a text file. I can show you what it looks like. It's very simple. But that text file has the information that you need to find all the chunks for the movie or music you want to listen to or watch or whatever. So it's important. That's the only thing they have is the written words of here's where to get that stuff. It's just a service. That's all it is. There are no files to download from there. Lars Ulrich, who decided to go off ape shit in like 99 or 2000 saying, the internet's fucked up and, I'm losing all my money. And no, you're not, you fuck. And here he has all this, cash, but no brains when it comes to what the internet's about. He thought Napster was, I'm going to this website and I'm downloading the music from this website. Well, that's not what you're doing. What you're doing is you're communicating via computer with millions of other people who just happen to have a list of stuff they'd like to share. Now, it's gotten a little bit different than that. It's gotten a little more impersonal, unfortunately. But that was the wave. That's what we had. So basically, it tells you The websites for torrents and many other kinds of peer-to-peer provide a map, nothing more. That's all they're doing. They're giving you a map and saying, here's where you got to go. And that's it. That's all those sites do. That's why it pisses me off to no end when they take over these websites and say, you have infringed copyrights. No, they haven't. They have not infringed copyrights. All they've done is drawn a roadmap. If little Susie had some cornbread and her cornbread went to hell, oh no, that's not right. Yeah, if little Susie had, if you had a map to Susie's house so you could get her cornbread, that's basically what you would be doing here with these websites. How to get up in that Susie, And if it was real, you would be suing the information stations you wouldn't be suing the information stations for providing a map. If you understood, if you even had an inkling. And that's the problem. See, remember O.J. Simpson? Remember how he got off? No, I don't remember how he got off. I don't want to know anything about that.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that either. No, but you know how he got out of not killing his wife? Because of DNA. That was the majority of what. Most of the jurors said we didn't understand what the DNA was. We don't understand how it works. How can we make a guy guilty if we don't understand what that means or any of this stuff works? Which is true, and maybe he did get off from that. But have you seen his confessional video interview thing? Man, it's fucked up.
Is it really?
Yeah,
it's
bad.
He basically admits it.
Oh yeah, he does. He goes, well, if I had done it, here's the way I would have done it, and he fucking detailed everything, and we were just like,
jeez,
holy shit.
Did he say at one point in this interview, yes, at one time I did have that knife in my hand?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did, yeah.
Now, I know we're getting a little sidetracked, but wouldn't you like to go to those jurors now and say, what do you think now?
Yeah.
What do you think now? If it doesn't fit, it must have quit.
Yeah.
What do you think now?
Yeah. See, the court of public opinion. You know me. I've been kind of on his side the whole time. I was like, listen, if there's a God, he's got to go before that dude and say exactly what he did and didn't do, and he's probably going to end up in hell. Fine for him. Great. But a jury of his peers found him not guilty. But there's always that little thing scratching me in the back until it cuts me open and makes a wound right to my spine. That these people didn't know what DNA was about and they blamed it on the DNA. And that kind of pisses me off whenever that happens. So, yeah, I think OJ's, I still kind of think, I don't know that he did it, although I watched this fucking video, and now I'm like, dude, I don't know. I think he did it. I think he did it. I think he knew what the hell he was doing. So
I find it fascinating, people like him, and there's others too,
right,
that are on top of the world.
Right.
They have the world's balls in their hands. They have it all.
That's assuming the world is a man.
It is. And then their fall from grace is just so spectacular and hard.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I guess maybe that's I don't really like to see people hurting.
Right.
But I guess it's like a car wreck. You can't help but look.
Right. You gotta have to stare because that's yeah.
Ooh, is that blood?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a train wreck is basically what it comes down to. And you're right. There's tons and tons of people that have gotten off scot-free from stuff. And sometimes it makes me wonder, is the double jeopardy thing good? Should we have a double jeopardy law that says you were tried once and found innocent by your group of peers, you now can no longer ever be tried again for the same crime?
I'm all right with keeping that.
I don't know. I might... Because think about it, man. How many times have we seen something go on, like O.J. Simpson, where we were just like, I think he might have done it. Because, he's coming across as guilty even now. I don't know. Anyway, so let me wrap up this peer-to-peer thing.
Okay, peer-to-peers.
Peer-to-peers. All right.
On my peer-to-peer network.
So what do you need to know about file sharing, peer-to-peer, and leeching? Okay. First of all, like I said, I'm on both sides of the coin. I know what's going on. I know what happens. I think as long as it's not something you're going out to do abusively, like heading out there and just downloading every freaking movie you can find just to be a dick, or to turn around and really pirate the movie by putting it on DVDs and giving it to people, I think then it's a good possibility that you are okay to be a downloader. To be a leech, though, which means to download something and not share, is also okay. Now, I know I'm going to get nailed for that one. I know I'm going to get fucking letter after letter on that one about being a leech. But it comes down to this. If you don't have your security established, if you don't have that ipfilter.dat file in place, man, everybody that you're uploading to could be potential cop, potential Fed, potential international criminal court person, looking after these what the fuck am I trying to say? Intellectual rights. It could be anybody. So what do I think about leeching? I think if you don't have the right stuff in place, you may want to leech. That means just download your shit. But here's the problem. Even if you leech, you still have to upload at least a little bit, because almost every single program that you can use requires that you do that. At least like 1 kilobit per second. And that's still enough to get you in trouble. So, I don't know. The thing is, file sharing and peer-to-peer, though, I think it's a great and wonderful system. There's a lot of businesses that have actually embraced it. Like, you can go to certain websites, and instead of downloading from their server, you go and get a magnet link and download it from torrent. Get the torrent file and download it from there. Everybody else hosts it. So, it's just a way that companies are trying to embrace the technology, because the technology is incredible. The technical workings, it goes even deeper than what I talked about, and it's phenomenal. And if you get into any type of programming or anything, I would suggest doing that as a study, just to see how the peer-to-peer networks work. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty simple, but it's pretty interesting. You gotta. So basically, piracy, everybody gets fucked. That's the way I see it. On to you, sir.
Oh, thank you.
So what do we want to do now? Let's do something.
Okay, let's play a game. You want to play a game?
Let's play a game.
Let's play a game.
Would you like to play a game?
Sure.
All right.
First game I think maybe we're going to play is, if you want to play, is Spot the Phony Pirate.
Spot the Phony Pirate. All right.
Spot the Phony Pirate.
Okay, let's do that.
I give you a list of 4 names.
Okay.
3 of them are real pirates.
Okay.
1 of them is not.
One is not a real pirate. All right.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Round 1.
Fight.
Captain Blackbeard, Calico Jack, Captain Gaylord, Mary Read. Spot the Phony Pirate.
Did you say Mary Read?
Yes.
Is it Mary?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go with Mary Read.
You're wrong, matey. It's Captain Gaylord.
Gaylord.
Gaylord wasn't a pirate. Well, he was, but not in the sense that... Anyways.
That's right.
Round number 2.
All right.
Redbeard.
Okay.
David McAnus. William Kidd. Jack Sparrow.
Oh, Jack Sparrow. He's not a real pirate. Oh, it just has to be a pirate. It can be a character, too.
It can be a fictional pirate.
All right. McAnus.
McAnus was not a pirate.
I thought maybe you were just saying it in a fucked up way. Maybe it was a real person. David McAnus.
I was trying to disguise it.
With some McFries. Would you like something to dip your McAnus in? Let's go with some hot mustard. Good stuff.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm hating it. Arrgh.
Round 3.
All right.
Smoky Bones, Henry Morgan, Francis Drake, Edward England. Spot the Phony Pirate.
William Kidd was.
Yeah, that wasn't one of the choices.
Oh, wasn't?
You are correct. Okay, Smoky Bones.
Okay.
Henry Morgan.
Henry Morgan. Okay.
Francis Drake.
Francis Drake.
Edward England.
Okay, Francis Drake is Edward England. Sounds familiar. I want to say Smoky Bones.
Smoky Bones is correct. It's a restaurant.
Yes.
Round 4. Morgan Adams, Jill Swallow, Black Caesar, Billy Bones.
The third or the second one.
Jill Swallow?
Yes.
I don't know. She may not. That is correct. She is not a pirate.
I bet she's got a hell of a what? I bet she's got a hell of an up dog.
She got 2 beautiful parrots.
Yes.
Okay, round 5.
They're talking to me, huh?
Hector Barbosa,
Okay.
Mitch Blondebeard Harlow, Bloody Bess, or Captain Bloth.
Is that supposed to be Blythe?
It might be.
BLY.
I could have been drinking whenever
You were drinking. He was in the middle of drinking. I want to go with the chick, the busty blonde, whatever the fuck her name was.
Mitch?
No, the other one.
Mitch Blondebeard Harlow?
No, the third one.
Bloody Bess?
Yes, there you go.
Bloody Bess was a pirate.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, Mitch Blondebeard Harlow is the phony pirate.
Oh, damn. You gave me that colored beard, and I thought, what the hell?
Okay, last and final round. Are you ready?
I am.
Spot the phony pirate.
Okay.
Willie Stargell,
Oh,
Dave Parker,
okay.
Nolan Ryan,
Okay.
Kent Tekulve.
Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan is correct, sir.
Yes.
Congratulations. I wish I had a round of applause for you.
He played for the Houston Assholes.
He was there, and I think he had another...
Yeah, he played someplace else, too.
Okay, how about, do you want to play Pin the Pronoun on the Pirate?
Yes, pin the pronoun on the pirate. All about illusion. How about that? No, wait a minute. That's not an illusion. What is that? It's shit. I forgot what the hell that's called. When you got a bunch of letters that are they're all the same. Pin the pronoun on the pirate.
Oh.
I can't remember what the hell it is. Damn, brain's fried. Did too much fucking peer-to-peer shit.
A bit smoking here.
All right.
Well, this game isn't that hard. You can think about the word you want. Anyways, I play a segment of a pirate talking or singing or doing something. You tell me who the pirate is.
Okay.
Now, there may be clues in the actual dialogue.
Okay.
So, here you go.
Oh, shit.
In Neverland! Tie down the main mast, mateys. Because here he is. The cunning kingfish. The bad barracuda. A man so deep, he's almost unfathomable. A man so quick, he's even fast asleep. Thank you. Now let's give him a very big hand. Because he's only got one.
Very big hang.
I give you.
Do you want to take a chance?
What?
Maybe you didn't see the movie.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, it sounds like they're chanting Hook.
They are. It's Captain Hook.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Okay. Now, here's another one. This is much easier.
Believe it or not, I never saw Robin Williams play Peter Pan. Did you know, real quick, just since we're probably getting away from Peter Pan, did you know in the original Peter Pan stories he kills the Wonder Boys or the Lost Boys?
No.
Whenever they get too old, he had to kill them. It was his job.
Really?
Yeah.
Peter Pan's job?
Yes. Yeah. He would take people over to the Lost Boys on the whatever the island is that they were. Misfit Toys. That's it. And he would, as soon as they got too old and they became too responsible, he started taking them out and killing them one by one.
No way.
Yeah, it's fucking gross as shit, but that's
It's a kid story, huh?
Yeah. Exactly. All
okay.
right.
Pin the pronoun on this pirate. Oh, damn you.
It's me. It's Peter. Oh, Peter. Yeah. Oh. 'Tis about the matter of payment for me membership. Steve be a touch short this month. That's all right, Steve. Just pay me when you get the money.
The dread pirate Steve be in no man's debt. I'll make a barter with you, true's in our star. In exchange for your kindness.
Pirate
I'll be
Steve.
splitting me buried treasure with you.
Oh,
Once I find it, that be.
that is Alan Tudyk who's playing that, the blonde-haired guy.
Yeah.
And
Do you know the movie?
Dodgeball.
Yes, you are correct.
Nice. Yeah, I thought he was in that one.
Here's another pirate.
He gets fucking chopped down in the middle of the movie. It's kind of sad. And then like he comes back, everybody's like, "You can be Captain Steve," and he's like, "All right."
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, I thought it was a shame that he missed the dodgeball tournament. Anyways, here's your next clue.
Captain Feathersword, you must dance. He will show you how. Captain Feathersword.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Captain Feathersword.
That is correct, Dean. Do you know what pirate Captain Feathersword is from?
Yes, Jake and the Neverland Pirates.
Maybe, but I got this off the Wiggles.
Oh, the Wiggles. Yep, that's who it
Yeah.
is. You're right. You're right.
Do you remember watching
It's
the
Captain
Wiggles?
Hook. Yeah, that was in Jake and the Neverland Pirates. Yeah, I do remember watching the Wiggles. Yes, I do. How fucking crazy they were. Look, Jeff's asleep again. Yeah, so.
Let's see if you get this one. This one's tough.
All right.
Captain.
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 Steve.
Captain. Captain. Captain.
Captain.
Captain.
Captain.
Captain. Captain.
Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain.
Steve.
Captain.
Just Dave, actually.
Just Dave, actually. The pigeon went flat.
Captain Dave.
Yes.
Captain.
Captain Dave. Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan is right, me boy.
Captain.
And you couldn't tell, but I had my leg up the whole time it was playing.
This one honestly might be tough,
Okay.
but it is from one of your favorite actresses.
Ooh.
That's a little clue.
Morgan, think of the freedom. You can do anything you want now. Come to London with me. Come to London with me. There's dukes there, there's earls and parties. It'll be fun. Think of how much fun it'll be. Besides, these men aren't going to take orders from you.
They will. Watch. You there. Stand to. Hoist my pennant. Bring it here.
Is that Gina Davis?
That is Gina Davis,
Oh, mutiny.
but that's not the pirate's name.
Morgan.
I want to say it's the Pirates of Penzance.
No.
That's not it, though.
Cutthroat Island.
Yes.
And that is
Blackbeard.
Pirate Morgan Adams.
Oh, Morgan Adams.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Are you ready for your next clue?
I am.
This should be easy as
Okay,
pie.
easy as pie.
If you've seen movies.
Yeah, I've seen movies.
Windward, brace and sheet. Windward, brace and sheet. Hold the pennant line. Hold the pennant line. What are you doing? What are you doing? No, what are you doing?
Captain Jack Sparrow.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
And Barbara.
The captain of the ship is giving orders. My ship makes me captain. They be my charts. That makes you chart man.
Chop man.
That was Captain Jack Sparrow. You are correct, sir.
And Captain what's his name? Barboza.
Barbosa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Barboza. Barboza.
I don't know if you'll get this one. This one's a little bit tough, but we'll try.
Pirates on board the Titanic.
You are correct, sir. That is Long John Silver's from Treasure Island.
Long John Silver from Treasure Island.
Here's one I really had to dig hard for because I couldn't get any audio or video of this, but here's an attempt.
Okay.
Get Get yourself ready for a trip through McDonald's land.
One day, Ronald and his pal Billy were fishing for Filet-O-Fish sandwiches in Filet-O-Fish Lake when suddenly...
Uh-oh, there's trouble afloat, Billy. It's Captain Crook, the crooked pirate.
Captain Crook.
You are correct, sir.
The crooked pirate.
All those tender golden filet-o-fish sandwiches you've got.
Tender golden
demanded
filet of
Captain
fish
Crook.
sandwiches you've got.
Said Billy. And with that, Ronald cast his line into the crooked pirate's boat, pulled out his crooked plug.
I'm sunk.
Cried Crook as he floundered in the water.
There you go.
Lovely.
Ronald McDonald committing murder on the high seas.
I give you one. Here's one. See if you can get this one. You probably won't, but it's an obscure reference. But
I call her Myra. Nothing but the finest herbs, my dead mother's stuffing, and fresh garlic from a real garden. Okay. Now note the juice which flows from the initial incision.
Way to go!
Eating duck, damn it.
What was that? What?
Space herpy.
That's just...
yes, that's right. I had to.
Jeff's got herpes. Sorry, Jeff.
That's right. I had to talk about it. No, yeah, it's. You have any idea what that's from?
No idea.
I don't know if it had an all-star cast. Believe it or not, it was very, very strange. Came out in the '80s. One of my favorite '80s movies. Believe it or not, and I wanted to create
UHF.
No, I wanted to create a TV show around it. Not specifically the whole movie, but just the ideas that were in it. And yeah, it's called The Ice Pirates.
Never heard of it before, Jeff.
Yeah. It had Robert Urich. Remember him?
Yeah.
He played in Vegas and Hawk and all those. Also, it had, I don't know if you know this guy, John Matuszak. He was a football player. Or, I'm sorry, wait a minute. Is it John Matuszak or is it Lyle Alzado? I think I might have it wrong. I think it might be Lyle Alzado.
I'll bet it's Lyle Alzado.
Yeah, because he did play a lot of stuff, and I have a strange feeling it's probably him. But I can tell you who else is in here too. Let's see, John Matuszak. I was right. Yep, he played Killjoy. He ended up dying. He played for the Oakland Raiders, and he ended up having brain cancer.
That's Lyle Alzado.
Is it Lyle Alzado?
Yeah, that's Lyle Alzado.
Okay, so then, how did John Matuszak die? I'll find out.
I don't
Give
know.
me a second. Died in 1989, Hollywood, California. He died due to a heart failure. That's what it was. Aged 38.
Damn.
Yeah, died. Yeah, football. They say football had a lot to do with it, but that was John Matuszak. He was in that movie. Let's see. There were some other famous folks in that movie. Let's find out who. Ron Perlman. It's one of his very first movies. John Carradine. I don't know if you know about the Carradine family. Angelica Houston was in it, which she's pretty big now. Mary Crosby. She was big back in those days too. Bruce Valanche, who used to play the center square on Hollywood Squares. The big fat kind of gay dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also played something on Full House or what was that TV show? Wait, that was Jim J. Bullock.
Yeah, Jim J. Bullock. That was the night. What was it? Wow, shit. The one where they were in San Francisco.
Yes, one was a cartoon artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Anywho, so shit. Why can't I think of that? Yeah, he had the moose or whatever that he drew. I can't even think of the dude's name. Ted Knight. That was it. And shit, I can't even remember what the name of the show was. It wasn't Full House, but we were close by thinking
it was something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Everybody's Enough or something gay or something.
Yeah, something. Yeah, Max von Sydow was in it. Ron Taylor was in it too. Let's see who else. Anyway, yeah, Ice Pirates. I suggest if anybody has a chance to watch it, you need some cheesy schlock sci-fi movie stuff, and go back and watch that one. That one came out in 1984, to be exact. Ooh, what is that? Ooh, big hit. Big hit. Big hit across the room. This one goes out to all our friends. This one goes out to my microphone. Anywho, so yes. Do you have any other one?
I have one more.
One more.
You may not get it.
I may not get it.
In fact, I don't think anybody will get it because it was a far reach for a pirate.
All right.
You ready?
Go for it.
Is it civilized?
That depends on your definition of civilized. Even a Sith Lord is no match for my warriors. Up quite a fight. Blasters, cannons, that glowy thing.
You mean a lightsaber?
That's it. As my sweet mother always said, son, if one hostage is good, two are better. And three, well, that's just good business.
I don't even know who that is. That's from Rebels, though, isn't it? Star Wars Rebels, the animated series?
Well, Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, that's what it was.
And it was the pirate that leads a gang of pirates. His name is Hondo Ohnaka.
Yeah, that's one I wouldn't get. I have an announcement, man. It looks like a movie franchise is back in the works.
Who's that?
I will give you a hint, and you tell me if you know. Here we go.
What the hell was that?
Volcanic eruption.
Oh, sure.
May I present to you my spy in the Ministry of Defense? Fat bastard.
First things first. Where's your shitter? I've got a turtle head poking out.
Charming.
I'm not kidding. I got a crap on deck that could choke a donkey. Oh, it's squidgy. Oh, Christ, I'm getting all emotional from it, you know?
Right. Fat bastard, could I have my mojo, please?
Where's my money?
All right, give him his money.
Jesus Christ, he's tiny. I've had bigger chunks of corn in my crap. Wait a minute. He kind of looks like a baby. Come here, I'm gonna eat you. I'm bigger than you. I'm higher in the food chain. Get in my belly. Come on. You're lucky, wee man. Ah.
Can I have a hug?
Dr. Evil, let me make you a deal, all right? You get the mojo, you keep your money, and I'll get your baby.
Right.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, ribs. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, ribs.
Excuse me.
Chili, baby back, ribs. Special delivery. Ah! Surprise, surprise! Listen, Missy. Do you fancy another go? Because once you've had fat, you never go back. You shut your mouth, you bastard!
Who is fat?
That's right, yeah.
Before you kill us, let me ask you one question. Are you happy?
What kind of stupid-ass question is that? I'm rich and I'm dead sexy. Oh, yeah.
You didn't answer my question. Are you happy?
Of course I'm no happy. Look at me, I'm a big fat slob. I've got bigger titties than you do. I've got more chins than a Chinese phone book. I've not seen my willy in 2 years, which is long enough to declare legally dead. I can't stop eating. I eat because I'm unhappy. And I'm unhappy because I eat.
It's a vicious cycle. If you'll excuse me, there's someone I have to get in touch with and forgive. Myself. Sorry, I farted. It's a long road ahead. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm gonna kill you anyway.
Judo!
Oh, right now, mommy, daddy button.
That's for calling me crap, you fatty.
Here's my diaper. I think I might have pinched one off too soon. Oh, I left a rosebud in there for you. You really are a fat bastard. You know, that hurts my feelings. I've tried going on a diet, you know. The zone. You know, carbs are the enemy. Oh, we don't like carbs, you know what I mean? Oh. Who's your friend? Oh, I'd like to have a go with that filly. Oh, do you find me sexy? Oh, look at my titties. Oh,
Shut your mouth.
yeah. All right, that's enough. Oh, my titties! Oh, you gave me a nipple! Listen, do you honestly think that crime can pay? Well, to be honest with you, I've been trying to go legit. I really take my sumo wrestling seriously, you know. But when you're an overweight child in a society that demands perfection, well, your sense of right, wrong, fair and unfair will always be tragically skewed. Did you just soil yourself? Maybe. It did sound a little wet, didn't it? Right at the end. Let's have a smell, all right? Ooh, wafting, wafting. Oh, everyone likes their own brand, don't they? This is magic. All right, analysis. Oh, it smells like carrots and throw up. Oh, that could gag a maggot. I smell like hot, sick ass and a dead carcass. Oh, even Stink would say that stinks. You know when you go to an apartment building and you smell other people's cooking on each floor and you're going, what are they cooking? That plus crap.
Oh, shit.
Fat bastard. But you're not fat anymore. I went on the Subway diet, you know, just like Jared. I've lost 180 pounds. Congratulations, baby. Thank you. I do have a little bit of excess skin, though. Bit of a problem here. Yeah. And unfortunately, my neck does look like a vagina.
Oh, yeah.
Is he coming back with another movie?
It looks like it.
Really?
It looks like it. Yeah, he's in the process of making a number 4.
So it is Austin Powers?
Yes. Yep.
It's not a spin-off and
correct.
Fat bastard.
Yep. And I'm hoping he gets back to the way he had things before. The last one, Goldmember, was funny, but he kept trying to throw in way too many characters. And he kept doing that, and it kept flooding everything. He just needs to come up with a strong story with the original people. Dr. Evil and Austin Powers. So, but yes, sir. Do we have anything else? What else do we have?
Hey, we got one more thing left. We should have did this earlier.
Yeah.
But actually, we have 2 more things left.
Yeah.
But one more thing about pirates.
Yeah.
We should have did this earlier. We should have did this maybe even first or second.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We can still teach a lesson.
Top items that are
most pirated.
Yes.
Number 10, designer items.
Ooh.
They include apparel and ornaments. To be specific, men, women's, and children's clothing, undergarments, outerwear, gloves, footwear, and headgear.
No. Headgear.
Headgear.
Huh, that's weird.
I guess that's basically taking any purse and somehow putting the words Coach on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Number 9, spices and eatables.
Ooh.
People migrate from country to country, place to place. And then, let's face it, Americans want American food, Indians want India food.
Right.
So they have food smuggled in. I don't know how you call that piracy, but
yeah,
you do smuggle it in and sell it, making it money off of it.
Yeah, generic off-brand names and shit, I guess.
Number 8, antiques.
Antiques?
Antiques.
That's one I never thought about.
Number 7.
Yeah.
Mobile phones.
Mobile phones.
Now, here's something in here in this article that I was reading. I don't know if it's true or not, but let me see.
Go ahead. Read it. What you got? Go ahead.
As per law, USA, an individual cannot possess more than one one network at a time.
Huh.
Is that true?
Not that I know of.
So is basically what this writer is saying is, I can't have an AT&T phone and a Sprint phone.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. See, that's...
It does make sense because in the middle of the night they could get together and then they could really fuck up the gene pool with the cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
They get together and have baby cell phones.
ATIs-ing? That would really suck. Look, you got the screen of your daddy, but you got the back end of your mom.
It's a Verint.
It's a Verint.
Oh, man, mixed up with my Sam apple. Or a sample.
Sample. Good.
Number 6, hardware utility.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Number 5, books. Yeah, I could believe they're pirated.
Yeah.
Do you know how much a book costs? Still, when books are becoming, I shouldn't say becoming obsolete, but becoming more and more prevalent.
Yeah.
They're still way up there.
Yeah.
Way up there.
Well, there's just one I know of that's actually at Amazon right now. You can buy called the Quest and Meanderings of One-Armed Pete. Yeah. It's actually not that expensive.
99 cents.
Yes. Oh, that's pretty cheap.
Please don't buy it. The author is trying for a perfect record and no sales.
Right. 0 sales.
Number 4. Everybody knows this. It's pirating of software.
Yes. Big one.
Number 3. Games.
Yes, video games.
Coming in at number 2 in the top 10 most pirated things. Songs and other music files.
Music files. Huh.
You have to be careful when you're pirating songs and music files. Because if you store them in the bottom of the ship, it could get, really messy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get nasty.
Coming in at number 1 in the top 10 most pirated things in this lovely world. Movies, TV shows, and videos.
I believe it. I believe it because I do that too. And the reason why I do it is I don't go out and do something every day. I'm not downloading it just to be a dick. But I download it because it's difficult for me to get. A great example of that would be the Game of Thrones, which is a show that comes on HBO, which I have not subscribed to yet, but I probably will soon. And it's the only way I can watch it. And I bet dollars to donuts, half of the fandom is kind of in that same boat. They have to download it in order to watch it. I know several people, actually, that have to download it in order to watch it. So, it's a necessity, I guess. And in this case, you could technically say, yes, you are taking money out of, HBO's mouth because that's what you sign up for. You know what I mean? Yeah, right? Yeah, I know.
Dude, help me with something here.
Okay.
We've laid out the evidence and what piracy is.
Yes.
And here it is, comes out. I'm not really a pirate.
Yeah.
What am I? I have 800 unpaid for songs.
You're a downloader.
I'm a downloader.
You're a downloader. Yeah, you're not a pirate. Nobody in the right mind, even if they download shit daily, as long as they're not selling it for anything, they're not a pirate. They are just a downloader. That's what it is. You're just downloading stuff. It'd be the same as if you went out and found a link on the internet and just clicked that link. Same thing.
Why don't I feel a lick of guilt whenever I know, boil it down, it's basically, the law says it's not my possession.
Right.
But I don't feel a lick of guilt about having that.
That's the other thing, and I didn't get a chance to talk about that, but I was going to save it for a different thing, but I'll just broach it just a little bit. You and I both know, we've discussed this before back on the show, when the archive shows, that a CD, when it's purchased, is not purchased. You don't own it. You just rent it, basically.
Rented.
Yeah, you've paid for a rental for however long, but you don't own anything on that CD.
Same
thing with movies, same thing with software, everything.
Does the customer know they are renting it?
No.
Where is the rental agreement?
It says it in the usage and terms.
Of
usually the back of a CD, you'll find it in the really small print down below. That these companies retain their rights, all rights reserved, blah, blah, blah.
How can fine print be legal? Nobody reads it.
It's really tiny, and a lot of people can't read it. That's the thing, and that's the reason. That's what they're hoping for. A lot of people just won't read it. But here's the thing: us as a society, in our nature, we have learned to do something in a specific way, so we've never questioned it. Which means, what I'm saying is, we've learned to go to a record store, purchase the CD, come home, play the music, be done with it, and that's it. There was no, this isn't mine. This is still somebody else's. And at any given time, they can, renege and take their stuff back or destroy it, which is just bullshit, but it can be done. They won't, though, because they don't want the fandom to go through that. They just want you to know that they still own what's on that CD. That's all they want to do. They don't want to have to enforce it. That's why it took so long for the RIAA and MPAA to come out and start suing people. It was relatively quick, but it came out, and they just wanted to scare everybody is what it came down to. Yeah, but that's the thing. We know that we don't own it. And that being the case, man, everything, dude, software. If you go to software, the terms of service and the usage agreement, all of that stuff explains it all in there. It always says, hey, we still own the rights to this stuff, and we can fuck up your machine anytime we want. Seriously, anytime, man, read it. The terms of use, oh my God, it's horrifying. Some of the shit is just like, you have no legal recourse whatsoever to come get us if we totally nuke your machine. I'm just like, this is bullshit, That's why most people skip through it. But MP3s, the thing is with those is you don't get that terms of use or the usage service contracts every time. You only get it the one time when you first install the software, like iTunes. If you have iTunes, you check marked that little box that said, "Hey, I agree with the terms of use and service," and you went through it, and they consider that a contractual agreement, and that's where that is in there. It's like the people who own these songs still own these songs. So, and that's the thing. It just, when it came to the forefront that we could download MP3s of these songs, a lot of people started recognizing, hey, that's what this means. What it means is that they still own all the rights to this stuff, and that's why they come back to get you. Because now they're saying, well, you didn't pay for it, so technically you've broken the contract, and now we can go after you. So, I don't know. It's a real head fuck. The whole system's a head fuck. And what is happening today with music is getting better, but it's still not fixed. It's broken.
You know what? First thing they could do if they really wanted to fix anything is fix the music, because the music sucks.
Right.
Most of it sucks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the other thing too, and I mentioned this before in past shows and other stuff, the fact that if it's art, if it's something you can see or hear, you can record it, no matter what. You can record it. You can record it with a video camera, with your cell phone. You can record it with a screensaver or screen grab program. You could save it by just recording it in an audio program like Audacity, which I don't use Audacity. I use the pirated version of Audition. I'm sorry. No, I didn't say that. What? No, I actually have the legit version. Actually, right now I have the legit version of the Master Collection of CC 2018, which is kind of nice. It's kind of nice. I've been using it like gangbusters. I've been using it like gangbang. So, all right, man. It looks like we only have one last thing. Oh, son of a bitch.
Would you listen to that?
Time for another broadcast of the Jeff and Dan Show to be sent to Davy Jones' locker, mateys. But before we go, though, folks, we need to say thank you to our first mates, Black Scruff McBeard and Barabbas LeBlanc. Thank you, mates. You are dismissed. And a special thanks go to you, good folk. You, our dear listener. Thank you for tuning in. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to pack up and ship out. Do not fret. We will meet again, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, jeffanddan.com.
So until then, have a good night and a great week.
Can you help me shave my timbers? All right then, yeah, okay, I see you. Go fuck yourself.